All right, welcome to Introductory Performance Seminar for January 14th. All right, so we are just going to kind of jump on in. We'll start with Gabrielle.
Okay.
Introduce yourself, tell us your name, tell us your piece, and then go for it, okay?
Okay. My name is Gabriel, and I'm going to be playing Spanish Carbiello, I think. I'm not really sure how you pronounce it. Okay.
Nice, very nicely done. All right, so really quickly, tell me one thing that you really liked about your performance and one thing you feel like you could improve.
The thing I'm really proud of is maybe,
There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever you feel.
playing the whole piece.
Playing the whole piece, maybe with like without stopping or
Maybe without stopping.
I like it. And what is one thing you feel like you could improve on?
Mm, hmm. Hmm. I don't really know what I can improve, like what I can improve on.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so we will come back to that at the very end and we'll talk about a few things we can work on. But overall, really nicely done. That was awesome. Okay. All right, so let's jump over to Asha and let's hear this. So go ahead, unmute yourself, and then Gabrielle, you can go ahead and mute yourself.
Okay.
So introduce yourself, introduce your piece.
My name is Asha, and I'm playing Let It Be.
Okay. All right. Yes, very nice. Sorry. That was really good. Okay, nice job. Nice job. All right, so what is one thing you feel like you did really well with, and one thing you feel like you could improve on?
Um, I think I did really well with like staying in the right tempo. Because sometimes I like go a little too fast or too slow, but I think I did pretty good staying in the right one.
Okay, I liked it. Okay, and what's one thing you feel like you can improve on?
Um, some I think like 2 or 3 times I played the wrong note. So I could like improve on making sure that I pay attention to the sheet music and play the right note.
Okay, I like it. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, so I think that just comes down to, slowing down, making sure you're going over parts, all that good stuff. So you guys both had really challenging pieces in their own ways. So like this one doesn't look like it would be as challenging, right? But Asha, what's the challenging part about this?
The chord changing.
It's those chords, right? Because this, do you know what this is called?
Melody.
So this has the melody on it, but when we have the melody line like this with chords above it, this is called a lead sheet. Lead sheets are typically used with jazz, sometimes with pop and rock, not very often. Mostly it's with jazz.
Mhm.
Um, but it yeah, it's a challenging thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Um, This one is in C major, so that makes it the teeny tiniest little bit easier because we don't have to remember any sharps or flats. But the trick with lead sheets, as you probably already know, is that you have to keep all of those chords in your head, right? Which is the challenge, right? It's basically like you have to memorize half the piece to play it, which is a challenge. So definitely think we could slow down with this. All right, let's move into the second half class where we talk about what we could improve on our pieces. So let's start with Gabriel's. Okay, so let's start first with the name. It's a tricky name, right? You guys can unmute yourselves now. Um, because we're gonna be chatting and maybe playing a little bit of music. Um, so this is a Spanish word. And this is just a little bit of a PSA. Anytime you're reading Spanish, if there are two L's, it becomes a Y sound. Why? I have no idea. It's just one of those weird things that happens. So this is caballero. Okay. So everybody say caballero if you can.
But yeah.
Nice. That was good. That was really good. So a caballo is Spanish for horse. Okay. So a caballero, what do we think that means?
Horse.
So super close.
Horse,
So what's that?
horse rider.
Yes. And what do we call that in English?
Cowboy.
A cowboy. Yeah. So this is the Spanish word for cowboy. They call it a horse rider.
So it's Spanish cowboy in
Yeah.
English.
Yeah, that's what it is. Spanish cowboy. So this piece plays really heavily on something we call character. Both your pieces do in their own way. But especially this one, because it actually is about a character, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are some things, Gabrielle, in the piece that kind of help us hear that character? What do you think?
Um,
As you're playing through, what are the different sections tell us about this cowboy? Does that make sense?
yeah. It's like kind of like you have to play kind of like really fast.
Okay, it is pretty quick piece. Okay,
Mhm.
what else? What else?
Um, hmm.
That's okay. That's okay. That was really good. Yeah. So this part to me either sounds like the cowboy is like galloping, right?
Yeah,
Or it could just be wind, because cowboys tend to live where it's a little windier, right?
yeah.
Not every cowboy, but a lot of them do. And then here, maybe he's slowing down. Have you guys ever ridden horses?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No.
No? Well, then we're gonna use our imagination. So, Asha, what is it like when a horse is kind of going not super slow? It's like they're not walking, but they're not running. What is it like being up on a horse and they're like trotting?
It's like a little like bumpy and like bouncy.
Yeah. So during this part, it's almost like the horse is trotting, because it's almost so when they trot, they almost like bounce a little bit. So that's what I hear when I hear this part, right? And then we get that again, and then we hear them either start galloping or the wind or whatever's going on, and then we get this bum 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 bum. What might be happening in that part of the song, Gabrielle? What do you think?
Maybe like the horse is like like stopping, maybe.
Stopping, and he's being really, really dramatic and really fancy with it. I don't know. Something's happening, right?
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, so I want us to do. I just want you to play just the first, just the first line for me. Just keeping in mind, and you can think about whichever one. Just like imagine either the horse is running really fast, or there's wind, or something's happening there, right? So try that beginning for me, and let's hear that. How did that feel?
That felt good.
Nice, I liked it. Okay, let's come down here where we get this bumpiness. Bum ba da 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 dum bum 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 ba da 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 dum bum bum. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's hear it.
Okay.
Nice. Do you feel kind of that bumpiness of the rider?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool thing. So when a composer does that, we call that, well, there's a couple things we could call it. But typically when we're talking about the composer, we would use the word text painting. And what that means is it sounds like what's happening. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and all of that goes into the character of the piece. So, really nice job. Okay, so let's talk about Asha. So, Asha, this one also has is a different type of character, still has character. What is this song about?
It's about like a person that's like in like a troubled time, but then they're like just saying like let it be how it is and like but yeah.
What does let it be? What does that mean?
Um I think it means like let the things be how it is.
Okay. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay. That's okay. That's all right. That's what we're here for, right? So, um, if so, this is less about like um so like let's imagine that for a second
Oh,
that there is you're having a party, right? And you're decorating and you're decorating and you're decorating and it's getting closer and closer to the time that the party's going to be and you're so excited and you're not nervous. You're like, ah. And so you're moving stuff and you're doing all this stuff and your mom goes, "Just let it be. Just let it be."
like
She's not saying like stop. I mean, she is saying like stop stop messing with it, stop touching it. But she's also saying, be okay with how it is, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like a double meaning, right? So what do you guys get out of that? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think now that you said that, I think that the song would mean that, like, when you're in like a bad time, then just like be okay with how it is, and then like learn like from it or new things.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's great. So yeah. So just learning to be okay with it how it is. Now, this is kind of unique to songs that have lyrics because we get extra information, right? If they don't have lyrics, we have to kind of either the composer has to kind of tell us like they did with Gabriel's piece. This is about a cowboy. It's a Spanish cowboy. That's what we want to hear, right? Or we just kind of have to guess, make up our own little storyline, right? And then with this, we can kind of come up with a storyline on our own. Now, another really cool thing with lead sheets and chord sheets, which are a little bit different but similar, is that we get to make up how it sounds to an extent, not too crazy. So, for example, I'm going to turn on my original sound, and I'm just going to play. Now, I can do the left hand as a block chord. I can do it as a broken chord. Or, you know, I can do some kind of a rhythm with it. I might go. Right? And I added a few extra notes here and there. But I can also go. And all I'm doing is I'm taking that basic chord and I'm just doing a little pattern with it. Right? So let's just for fun, I want you to play the chord. Just play the regular chord here and here. So every other note.
So like I like play the chord and then release it and then play it again.
Let's try it. Maybe it sounds good. Maybe it sounds terrible. We don't know. We're just playing around. The whole chord, the C E G, the whole thing.
I'm so used to playing it together. It's hard.
So play it. Find myself times tribe come me. Okay, like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's like play the right hand normal, but that's where you play the left hand. Let's just try. And play them and make sure we're changing those chords. It's tricky to do. It's tricky to do. We're on A minor.
Yeah.
So moving to A. And then F. Nice. Nice. Okay. So, another thing so I would say play around with it. Make sure you really know that right hand and you really know what's going on with it. And then play around with it. See what you like. See what's fun. Okay? That's the really cool thing about lead sheets, chord sheets, all that good stuff, is we kind of get to play around with it and do whatever we want.
Yeah.
There are rules. But we get to kind of play around with it a little bit. And then there was something else. But yeah, and you can change the character of it that way too, like we were talking about with Gabrielle's piece. You get to change the character with it. You get to change how it sounds. You can make it really fun and upbeat. You can make it slower. You get to do whatever you want. So, you guys both did a really fantastic job. Gabrielle, the only real advice I have for you is just work on getting that one memorized. I think once you have it fully memorized, it's going to sound amazing. I think that'll be a lot of fun. So good job, Asha. You guys did amazing, phenomenal. Have a great rest of your day. I will see you at some point probably in Kaizen. Okay.
Thank you.